Welcome, I'm Jessica Lombard, Associate Superintendent.
And I'm Superintendent John Berkey, and this is Huntley 158 Today. Well, as you know, everyone in Huntley knows, we've been working over the last 5 years on implementing a one-to-one program where it means one computer for each student. And this year, we just finally completed that with a complete rollout at Huntley High School.
Absolutely, and there's some really exciting things that are going on here within the district, but here over at the high school to help teachers and students acclimate to this one-to-one rollout.
So our guest today is Mrs. Rikki Holton, who is one of our instructional coaches at Huntley High School. And this is actually a brand new position that was created to help teachers work with one-to-one and teach. Can you talk a little bit, first of all, about what you did before you were a coach at Huntley High School?
Well, I started here in 2005 as an English teacher, and then I transitioned to managing our library, and then this year I'm transitioning to the instructional coach position.
So now there's 4 of you, right? So you're one of the 4. So tell us, what does an instructional coach do? What is your job, and what does an average day look like?
Well, an average day is very, very busy. I brought my show shoes and I had my flats so I could hustle around the building. We really try to meet staff wherever they are at, so whether it's something very small that they'd like to try to implement or whether it's a huge project, but primarily working with staff on helping them improve instruction for students.
Rikki, this summer you were an integral part in a conference that was held for our staff here at Huntley High School. It was a professional top quality conference that took place. It was called Grow HHS. Yes. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how that came to fruition and what that looked like?
So when we were considering ways to possibly train the staff, we were throwing out a lot of ideas, and one that we've all been a part of is going to a conference and then coming and taking that information back to the staff, which sometimes happens to various degrees. And what we really wanted to try to do was build the capacity within our building, because we do have a lot of really, really, really talented teachers that are willing to take chances and try out new things. And so we thought the best way to build that capacity was to really get us all together so that we're all digging deep within not only our content area, but just different instructional strategies at one spot so that we could focus on that. And that's really how that came to be. And so we had our own local experts. We were fortunate enough to have Sean McCusker, who's an ed tech guru consultant, come in, who lives in the community, was willing to help us with the keynote speakers and that kind of thing. And then we also booked local experts that were willing to come in and share their technology savviness and instructional strategy savviness with us, as well as our own staff here, and then had the typical breakout sessions of conferences, and staff really felt supported and valued in taking on ownership of this new initiative.
So what did teachers take away from the conference? I mean, now that you've been able to work with teachers for about a month of school, what have they taken away that's actually been applicable in the classroom?
I think the biggest thing that I've heard teachers have taken away is that they feel that it is okay to dip their toes slowly but surely into this pool, and that the goal is student ownership and student engagement, and that it's okay to try something new and not necessarily have it go perfectly the first time, but be willing to try something new, and then know that not everything has to change all at once, and not everything should change, because the focus should be on instruction and not technology.
Our freshmen coming in very used to the one-to-one, having that device. For our juniors and seniors, a little bit different in the classroom, and probably some excitement and some hesitation there. What are some of the things that you're seeing with the students in the classroom?
I think the first thing is that they just have access. A very, very simple, basic thing is, instead of a teacher having to design lessons and instruction based on when they can get a hold of a laptop cart, now that's opened up and they can make different choices and be able to just do it on the fly. If there's a need, we can adapt. And so I think students are learning to problem solve a little bit better.
What are some of the challenges that you deal with in your role? As you know, within the last 2 years, suddenly 3,000 students have Chromebooks.
Right. So I think the biggest challenge for students and teachers is just that it seems so big and so different. And that's one of the things that instructional coaches are working on, is trying to make it palatable and manageable, so that we look at small chunks and see how can we do this a little differently. Here's some options, and then teachers can choose their option based on their comfort level, knowing that they're working towards an end goal. But we're able, I think a little bit, one of the benefits of being an instructional coach and seeing different teachers all day long is that you can take a look at their world and maybe offer some outside suggestions that they're so busy in the thick of that they just didn't occur to them. And then sometimes somebody else suggesting it makes it, oh, okay, I can try that, and it's okay. And I think it's great that the instructional coaches can be so supportive for teachers, because we are there right alongside them, helping them with, if it bombs, it bombs, and we're in it together, and having somebody there to do that is, I think, really valuable.
Mrs. Holton, I really want to thank you for coming on and talking to us today about the transition to one-to-one and the role of an instructional coach. So we're terming this our Always initiative, where all of the students have devices, because it's education always, which expands beyond the school doors and the school wall. And I just want to say, I think it's great that we're able to have these coaches to help our teachers, because we have a fantastic staff that really have been willing to change to make education truly be 21st century education. These coaches are only able to provide our teachers even more support.
And more support. And thank you for joining us. If you have future guests you'd like to see on our show, topics you'd like discussed, or questions you'd like answered, please reach out to us at our District 158 Facebook page or Twitter, #Ask158. Until next time.